in London, and let's be honest, the options are legion. There is almost no argument left about what should top that list. It is, of course, food. Glorious food. Oliver had it right. There's so much of it. Every corner, every street side. Pubs, gastropubs, easy eateries, the finest of fine diners, and yes, we forget markets of every conceivable kind. For something fun and artisanal on a weekend like the Broadway market, always worth spending some time at. Stalls and all. Browse, enjoy, sniff and sample, particularly if the weather allows it. And if it doesn't, well, there's always an indoor option. And considering England's ongoing emphasis on what we eat and where it comes from, I wasn't entirely surprised to find a place called Sourced Market. It's a fun, cheerful space, the kind in which you can shop till you drop or grab a bite on the go. And before I could exert either option, I was getting the skinny or not so skinny from Ben O'Brien, he who founded it.
What we do is work with over 100 small independent producers and try and source the best possible produce, both from here locally, London, and further afield in the UK. People are more and more interested in provenance, so they want to know where the food comes from, what goes into it, who the farmer that rears the animal. Move away from sort of industrially produced food to this more artisan.
So well, look around, there are baked goods of every conceivable kind. There's the deli counter, where I thought it best to start with the cheese because, there's just so much of it.
Obviously that we do really well in this country is cheese. Yeah. So we've got a really good selection of English cheeses. All these small cheeses here are British. The Stichelton, that's quite an interesting one. So we have a very famous blue cheese in England called Stilton. Stichelton have done is found an old recipe for Stilton, like the traditional way of making it, using raw milk, and created a new cheese.
Slice for me, don't mind if I do.
A very full-flavoured blue cheese.
Ooh.
Made to
wow, it's delicious. Sharp as...
But creamy as well.
Yeah. That's a very good start, and it's worth taking your time at a place like this. There's so much to admire. Who am I kidding? There's so much to drool over. Olive all sorts or more meats than you can hope to try.
Traditionally, we've always bought charcuterie from Italy, from France, from Spain. They're the people that historically have made charcuterie. And actually recently, there have been people that have started making charcuterie in the UK. Right. And there's an argument, which probably not everybody will agree with, that actually British pork is much better quality than Italian or French.
It's a dangerous claim, but I'm happy to report it is also one they're willing to back up.
These are British salamis. So this is a seaweed salami. Seaweed is something that's, I think, quite unusual.
And at the other end, well, my kind of counter. Look at all those wonderful classics, sausage rolls, pies and Scotch eggs, quite an assortment too. If I was going to start filling up, this was the counter to do it. And look at that sausage roll. I wasn't expected to resist that, was I?
So this is a very traditional recipe, British sausage roll. So it's pork and sage. So that's, again, it's sausage meat wrapped in very tasty buttery pastry.
This is just, again, I think the ratio of meat to pastry is about 10 to 1, and each one is, each part is delicious, however way you choose to weigh it.
My compliment may have sounded confused, but cut me a break, because now Scotch eggs.
We do a vegetarian one. That's beetroot that gives it the red colour. This one is a chili con carne. That one's got a bit of heat to it. It's like the aficionados Scotch eggs. When people really get into their Scotch eggs.
Suspiciously like a challenge. Of course I'm going to try one.
Challenge accepted. The black pudding one it is. And it's perfect. The yolk, the giveaway.
Perfectly soft yolk.
Right.
So the white should always be firm,
yes,
and the yolk should be soft,
yes,
and just a little bit runny like this.
Yep.
But this has an interesting pattern going on too.
Pudding can be coarse,
yes,
so with like big chunks of fat like that, or it can be fine where it's all...
I am simply thinking of the defibrillator I'm going to need after this, but I consider every bite worth it.
I can attest. What fun. That was a pretty great way to start my day. But I had my appetite whetted for more Delhi-style delights. And on the waterfront is another very special one. Tom's Kitchen and Delhi by world-famous chef Tom Akins. It's a bright, cheerful place with the best view in town. That's right. And then there's their neighbor. You'll agree that Tom's Kitchen has a pretty special one. The HMS Belfast, now a museum ship, originally a Royal Navy light cruiser. The HMS Belfast has seen all kinds of action of the historic kind. She was part of an Arctic convoy to the Soviet Union in 1943. She witnessed combat during the Korean War, and she was there on D-Day, helping troops land in Normandy. And so it's only fitting that when she was retired, she was given a prime spot on the Thames. I am told that her placement here is not just to acknowledge the ship itself, but all who manned and fought from it. And that, as the experts tell me, is the point.
So HMS Belfast is one of the three remaining bombardment ships from D-Day. So there are two more American ships, but this is sort of one of the most significant Second World War ships left in our naval. We want visitors here to get an understanding of the importance of the ship itself, but also the lives and experiences of the men on board. So when the ship was first commissioned, they had a crew of just around 760 people, but by the end of its life, it had almost 900 crew members. So that's thousands of men served on here during its lifetime.
This is actually a spectacular, this is the money shot.
This is an amazing point, yes, Lily. You get to see two of the gun turrets, which were incredibly important in helping in the bombardments on D-Day. The steel around these gun turrets is 2 inches thick, so you can imagine how strong they are. So we can see the development of the naval history of the UK, but also the lives of the naval officers changed.
It's pretty spectacular, dramatic, important, and eventually proof that location is everything. And then, well, because who says history isn't best served with a bite or few, it's back to Tom's Kitchen in Delhi. Now, as you would perhaps expect from the name, this is Delhi food scaled up, and seriously so. Look for starters at that counter. The fattest muffins bursting with excess, plump chocolate brownies, lavish slabs of cake and cookies and pastries and tarts. Then there's a salad and sandwich bar to the side. Again, an incredible assortment. Salmon and beef and beets and beans and breads. I could have spent a few hours over this. I would have, but I had someone waiting on the upper deck for me. Chef Tom Akins himself. Tom, who at 26 became the youngest British chef to win 2 Michelin stars. And his reward, or part of it, has to be this spot, just looking out over that iconic site.
Here we've got London Bridge, we've got Tower of London, we've got HMS Belfast, so it's a lovely place to be. And being on the river, we have 2 other places on the river, Canary Wharf and St Catherine's Dock. Yeah, they all seem to be connected by the water, so this is another one, so it's lovely to be here.
We take our seats best in the house, and I get to discover where and when Tom's journey first began.
At the age of 13, I then decided to be a chef. So that's what I wanted to do as a career. And then I left school at 16 and went straight into catering college. So I came to London straight away when I was 18. Worked in various different restaurants in London, and then I went to France to work.
So basically you were just a ridiculous overachiever from the age of 13.
Basically, probably, yes.
And then out comes a platter, and quite a platter it is too. A glass of wine, a slice of bread, and well, chutneys and all kinds of other excess. There are thin slices of luscious hams, some remarkable smoked duck, potent and delicious, chicken liver, salami, chutney, lovely currant-studded bread. It is the perfect accompaniment to this setting. I get the dazzling and the delicious. But again, as with everything here, Tom is devoted equally to where his food comes from.
I think with Tom's Kitchen, it's very much based around the ethos of really good seasonal products. We mainly source direct from farms all over the UK. We're very much focused on getting the quality of the ingredients speak for itself. And then, using that in a very simple manner on the plate where we're not over-fussing, we're not making it over-complicated.
And looking out at some of London's most iconic sites is clearly both inspiration and adventure.
I'm just going to say again, here we are, this beautiful spot smack in the middle, surrounded by sort of history. Is celebrating history, acknowledging all of that again just something that is vital to you?
It's nice to be in the heart of London with sort of quite a few iconic landmarks around us, and it's super nice here when we do get the sun. But along the South Bank here, you know, it's great to walk all the way along, and you know, it's a really lively, buzzy place to come. And you know, you've got the Tower of London, you've got London Bridge, HMS Belfast, got London Dungeons, you know, over there so as well. So you know, there's a lot going on. So it's a great.
They're a lucky lot, those who live and work here, as I am for the moment.